Hey everyone, Dan and Leslie back for another video about Disney Cruise Line.
Boy, do we love talking about Disney Cruise Line, and today we are going to talk about, is it worth it?
I am so excited about our upcoming Disney cruises. We've got two upcoming cruises on the Disney Treasure. We are going on the preview cruise, which is a 3-night cruise right before the inaugural. So that's this December. We're going to bring you a lot of content from the Disney Treasure. So that will be our first time on the brand new ship. We've been on the other 5. Cannot wait to see this one in person. Then we've got another full 7-night cruise on the Disney Treasure in March for spring break. Look forward to that. And on our next cruise, we hit Platinum.
Today we're going to talk about, is Disney Cruise Line worth it? Because that is one thing that we hear often, is that the price of other cruise lines might be a little bit more appealing. And so we're going to break it down a little bit and do a little comparison.
So that's totally fair. We are not here to try and dispel the fact that Disney Cruise Line is a premium product. It is more expensive than some of the other ones. We are going to compare pricing to Royal Caribbean just because that is, I think, the natural place for people to go. Royal Caribbean does appeal to a lot of families that also like Disney Cruise Line. They have similar activities. It is similarly family focused. They've got a lot of really cool ships right now. We spent 3 nights on the Icon earlier this year and absolutely loved it. So nothing to disparage Royal Caribbean. We just want to compare the two and see if Disney Cruise Line, for the added cost, includes more value that makes it worth it.
All right, so we basically took the same week in March, spring break week of 2026, and compared 2 7-night sailings out of Port Canaveral. So both of them are gonna be for family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids in a standard just ocean view veranda room in a higher deck on a newer ship. All right, first on Royal Caribbean, Star of the Seas, which launches 2025, that sailing for that family of 4 in March of 2026 would be $7,567.68. And for Disney Cruise Line on the Treasure, which launches December of 2024, that veranda ocean view room would be $11,060.16.
So you're talking about a $3,500 upcharge for similar offerings between Royal Caribbean and Disney Cruise Line. Let's dive in and see if it's worth it. Up first are the kids clubs on Disney Cruise Line. So these things are fantastic and they keep getting better with subsequent ships. The Wish is the newest ship. It launched in 2022. We've been on the Wish multiple times and we've had the pleasure of touring those kids clubs. It's fantastic. You have got themed areas everywhere from Star Wars to Avengers to princesses. You can do everything from create activities to learn how to be a superhero in their superhero academy. You can meet Spider-Man and different Avengers in the kids clubs. They are so incredibly fun.
Yes, so the kids clubs are for ages 3 to 10, but then they also have amazing areas for those tweens and teens. They have the Edge, which is for 11 to 14, and then they have the Vibe, which is for 14 to 17. And those both areas have kind of their own dedicated space to be with kids their age, and then they have activities scheduled all throughout every single day of your sailing.
Not anything against Royal Caribbean, but their kids clubs just don't have the theming. They don't have the intellectual property. They don't have the IP. They don't have the Avengers and the Star Wars and all of the cool things that Disney as an entertainment company has to overlay on these spaces.
All right, let's talk about those adult spaces, because I'm telling you right now, those kid spaces are so much fun that your kids are never gonna wanna leave. So you're gonna be like, what do we do? There are loads of different spaces that you can go to as adults. Now, some of them are, they allow families during the daytime, but then in the nighttime, it does turn into a more adult-only space. And that's gonna be several of the lounges amongst all of the ships. There is also a dedicated adult-only pool area with a pool bar and pool deck where only 18 plus are allowed to be.
Here's one area where I think Royal Caribbean shines. They've got some really cool adult spaces as well, to include a sports bar. They have got some really cool loungy type areas, and we had a whole lot of fun in the Icon just exploring all little places, just the 2 of us hanging out, and that was pretty great. All right, going back to the Disney being an entertainment company first, they have tons of characters and IP, that intellectual property that they can bring to their ships, which is fantastic and really, I think, ups the value. Everything from meet and greets from characters. When you board the Disney Wish, you're going to have some sort of character up in that balcony waving at you as you come in. We've been greeted by Flynn Rider, Rapunzel. I think Cinderella was on one of the embarkation. Tiana. You can get dressed up like a princess. You can do meet and greets with basically any character you can think of, not only the Fab Five, but they will be dressed up in whatever theme is going on the Disney cruise. So for instance, if it is a Halloween on the High Seas, you've got costumes. If it is a maritime cruise, you've got like Santa outfits for the different characters. If it is Pirate Night, you've got Pirate Stitch that you can meet. So all of these characters, I think, really ups that value when you're talking about getting on a cruise ship, but also spending some time with your favorite characters that you know and love.
And we'll talk about dining later, but the characters are often intertwined into dining experiences as well, which is super fun. All right, there's also movie theaters on board, which if you are on board a Disney Cruise Line ship whenever a Disney movie is released worldwide, it's very likely that you might get your own special showing, which is super, super fun. Not only do they have theaters that you can go to see Disney movies that are playing throughout the day on every day that you're sailing, but also they have movies up on the big screen, on the funnel vision out by the pool, and they have on-demand movies in your room. So you can go back and take a little rest and pop on an old classic.
The on-demand movies is actually a really cool little perk. They do not charge extra for these. So it's kind of like a Disney Plus Lite. It's not everything that's available on Disney Plus, but there are a ton of Disney movies and shows that are available in the room. So it's kind of nice to go back, chill in the room, maybe get some room service. We'll get to that in a minute. And then enjoy one of those movies. Whereas like Royal Caribbean, they are going to charge you a fee to rent movies on demand in your room. So, you know, it's just another layer of that all-inclusiveness that if you're going to use it, that does add value to the cost of a sailing. And I really love the fact that we have been able to get movies. So like our most recent sailing in June, we watched Inside Out 2 the same day that it was released in the United States for free on the ship, just included in the cost of the sailing. So we were able to see the brand new movie without having to pay extra to see it in a theater. Speaking of movies, if we keep along that entertainment theme, we come to Broadway shows. And this is one of the biggest inclusions that we believe make Disney Cruise Line absolutely worth that extra cost. Every night there's some form of like a big entertainment thing. On a longer cruise, it's not going to be a Broadway show every single night, but on a shorter one, 3 nights, it is likely to have a Broadway show every night. In the Walt Disney Theater, which is the giant theater at the front of the ship, they do literally Broadway caliber stage shows. And they're not full like 2-hour in length shows. They're somewhere around 45 minutes, maybe an hour long, but they will take like actual movies like Frozen, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Moana's coming to the Disney Treasure, and they will make these stage adaptations for them. And these performers could literally step off a Disney Cruise Line ship and go perform on Broadway. It is fantastic. The shows are wonderful. There are special effects. I don't even know how they do some of it. Like the wardrobe change in Frozen when Elsa is singing and she goes into her ice gown. Like it's so, so cool. Do not sleep on those on your next Disney cruise.
One thing that we particularly like about Disney Cruise Line is that there are not any casinos. Now, I know that that might ruffle some feathers out there that if you really want a casino on board, but it's just nice to not have that area, and they have taken that space and used it for other things like the kids clubs and adult spaces and whatnot.
If not having a casino on a cruise ship is something that you are not interested in, then absolutely don't go any further. Don't book a Disney cruise, book a Royal Caribbean or one of the other cruise lines out there, because for us, it is a huge benefit to actually not have a casino space. We don't like walking through them. We don't like the congestion. And honestly, like we went on a Norwegian cruise to Alaska in 2018, and we did spend some time in the casino, and it just wasn't all that fun, and we lost money. And so we would rather not have one and use that space for other things.
Let's talk activities, because there are tons of them. You have pools, you have water slides, you have splash pads, you have an obstacle course. On ships like the Wish, there is a huge hero zone area that you can do an obstacle course. You have sports areas. There's miniature golf on some of the ships, and there's one thing that we love to do are the little hunts around the ship. So not all of the ships have them, but some of them have little scavenger type hunts that you can do that take you all over kind of the main parts of the ship, which is really fun.
Pretty much all activities on the ship are included as long as it's not some additional component like a tasting that you're actually consuming food and beverage, that kind of thing, or a service like a massage. But just regular activities are pretty much all included on a Disney Cruise Line ship.
Yeah, you've also got tons of karaoke and silent dance parties and trivias and all types of fun things.
One of the funnest things that we always do is the tour, the behind the scenes tour. So it's the Art of the Theme tour. This is a free tour. Anybody can show up, and it's usually around 45 minutes to an hour in length. But you get to see like how they made different design decisions when Disney Cruise Line was building the ship and putting it together. And there's a lot of thought process that goes through not only just the major decorations, but the patterns in the carpet and the light fixtures and like the colors, certain things that you just wouldn't necessarily notice.
Let's talk food. And I will say right now that pretty much almost everything is included. There are some extras, but not very many whenever we're talking food. Disney does rotational dining. And what that means is that there are 3 main restaurants that you will rotate through with your wait staff every night of the cruise, which is really nice because your wait staff gets to know you and your family to the point of one sailing that we were on, one of the boys asked for a bowl of cherries, and literally every night when we arrived to the table, there was a bowl of cherries sitting there for him to eat. So, I mean, they just get to know your family and you get to develop that little relationship with them.
The most popular places to eat on a Disney Cruise Line with your family are all included. You can do adult dining in a couple of specialty restaurants if you want to, but you will not feel like you're missing out on Disney Cruise Line if you just eat what's included, and they're going to make sure that you see all those specialty restaurants with the different entertainment options. Some of them have live theater, some of them have screens with different things. Some of them you might meet characters, maybe not. So that's really, really fun, as opposed to like your Royal Caribbeans of the world where, yes, you can absolutely eat what is included with a Royal Caribbean cruise and be full and be satiated, but there are a ton of specialty dining options that look really cool, from sushi to steak to Italian, just to different fares that you're not going to get to try unless you have booked a really expensive suite or you have like an unlimited dining package, that kind of thing. There is an upcharge for those specialty restaurants. This is one reason I really, really like Disney Cruise Line, because their best meals, except for the couple of adult only options, are included, so you don't have to worry about missing out with your family.
One thing I really like whenever it comes to food is all the extras that are included, and one of my favorites is the unlimited ice cream cones. You can get as many ice cream cones as you want all day, every single day, and it's glorious.
2 of my favorites are definitely upcharges on other cruise lines. One is room service. You can order room service 24 hours a day, and there's no additional cost for it, unless you're ordering like beer to your room, which you can do, but there is an additional cost for that. But as long as it's on the room service menu, you can get it, and there's no service charge or anything like that. Now you're probably gonna wanna add a tip when they show up with your food. Whereas other cruise lines like Royal Caribbean charges $7.95 service charge outside of their continental breakfast option. But if you're ordering room service, be prepared to pay that. And then the soda package. So if you want soda on most cruise lines, you have to pay extra either per soda or for a soda package. Royal Caribbean, I believe, is around $15 per person per day for their soda package, whereas Disney Cruise Line, all the sodas you can drink, unlimited, all included with your fare. And so that's really nice. So you can fill up, so they've got cups on the pool deck, you can go and you can fill up those with whatever sodas you want, or you can take your own cups up there and you can fill those up with sodas if you'd rather.
All right, another of my favorite inclusions is fireworks at sea. Now this happens on pretty much almost all of Disney Cruise Line's sailings. There are some caveats, like they can't do it in Alaska and Northern Europe. So just be aware of those kind of different situations. However, if you're in the Caribbean, you're gonna probably have a fireworks at sea, a pirate night, and it's a whole show and it's incredible.
It's really cool to be on a cruise ship watching fireworks being shot from the same cruise ship. It's really, really fun. And then one of my favorite inclusions with this higher price tag for Disney Cruise Line is that almost every stateroom has certain things that just make it really special to Disney Cruise Line. Number one, you're going to get 2 services per day from your housekeeping staff. This is huge for families that have kids. If it's just 2 adults, I don't really care if they come twice a day as long as I have enough towels, because I do like to usually take 2 showers on a cruise ship per day, but you can just call for more towels and that's fine. But if you have kids and you need a turn down service, so on Disney Cruise Line, they have upper berths that come out of the ceiling. So that's the bunk bed, the upper bunk bed. And then they have the couches that fold out and make a bed. So a family of 4, like our family, those will need to be turned down in the evening so that the kids can sleep. Well, if they only come once per day, then they never get put away for the entire length of the cruise. So you never really use your couch if it's made up as a bed the entire time. Not to mention there's gonna be a bunk bed out of the ceiling, like above the couch. So you can't really use your living room space as a living room unless they're coming twice per day. Royal Caribbean did away with twice per day service unless you have a suite or above. So this is a huge benefit for families with kids. I will die on this hill. Like this is a great benefit. One that I hope Disney Cruise Line does not get rid of.
Another one is the split bathroom options on all the rooms that are deluxe, and which is basically almost every single room on the ship. There are some standard inside staterooms that don't have the split bathroom, but every other room has this bathroom that you have a sink and a shower in one side and a toilet and a sink in the other side, and it is so convenient in getting ready with multiple people.
Yeah, like Royal Caribbean does have split bathrooms, but not for the standard ocean view with veranda rooms. You have to get a more expensive room to get that. Another great amenity that we love in these all these staterooms on Disney Cruise Line are the different offerings for the actual shampoo, the conditioner, the body wash. They are all very nice amenities. Even nicer if you go up to concierge, but just the standard rooms have great amenities. Whereas on our Icon sailing, when we were in a standard, we had a veranda room, but it was one that looked into the family, like the inside of the ship. When we were in there, it was a 3-in-1 body wash pump action thing, right? So it was the same blob of stuff that I was using for shampoo, conditioner, and body wash, and I wish I knew that going in because I should have brought my own. It did not work very well at all.
My hair hated me by the end of that 3 days. All right, another perk is the private islands. And yes, I know that many cruise lines have, pretty much all of them have their own private island that you can go to. I might be very partial, but nothing tops Castaway Cay and Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point.
Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point is not a private island, it's just a private section of the island of Eleuthera, but Castaway Cay is Disney Cruise Line's own private island. So they have 2 options if you're looking out there, then maybe make some cruises go to both, which was fantastic. We did that on our June sailing. I like that a lot of activities on these islands are already included in the cost of a Disney Cruise Line sailing, whereas if you go to Perfect Day at Coco Cay, this is Royal Caribbean's private island. I actually like the island better. There's more to do there, but it's all for an extra cost. If you want to go to the club, if you want to go to they have a water park there, if you want to do the hot air balloon rides, if you basically anything on there except just lounge around on the beach, there was an added cost to, and I get it. That's how Royal Caribbean makes their money because they're charging less for the cruise fare, but they're adding on all of these extra charges. Just know going in, if you're comparing, like we did, a standard ocean view stateroom room with veranda on both Disney Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean, it's not apples to apples. There are more inclusions on Disney Cruise Line, which is why we're having this conversation.
The last perk that we are going to talk about before we get into some additional costs is actually from Fantastical Vacations. And if you book a Disney Cruise Line vacation with us, with any of our Fantastical Vacations advisors, then you are eligible for up to $1,000 of onboard credit based off of the base fare of your sailing, which is just a way of us saying thank you for booking with us.
So we did also mention that Royal Caribbean does kind of make a lot of their profit off of a bunch of upcharges. So they do have more upcharges than Disney Cruise Line. So first and foremost, let's go back to that room comparison that we added, that we brought up at the beginning of the video. So there was a $3,500 difference. However, if you want some of the nicer amenities to be included with your room, so for instance, a room with a split bathroom and a room with a workable full sleeping solution. So that standard veranda room that faces the ocean on Royal Caribbean, we could not do with our two kids because they would sleep side by side and have to crawl over each other to get to the restroom at night. They do not have upper berths. So in order to get a family room that has like bunk beds, like something where they could actually not just like kill each other after, we would have to upgrade that room. The cost of upgrading that room to just a family room that would be workable is over $9,600. So that narrows that gap down to about $1,500 right there.
Now, this is gonna vary based on ship. So once again, we're looking at the newer ships. Some of the older ships do have upper berths, so you might see different sleeping arrangements availability on those older ships.
True. The major bummer for me is all the specialty dining, because you get on a Royal Caribbean ship, you get on an Icon of the Seas, they had something like 30 different dining venues or something like that. So we ate in the main dining room, it was good. We ate there once, we ate in the buffet a couple times, it was good. Those are included, those are fine. But as you're walking around the ship, you see these amazing restaurants, everything from hibachi, sushi, like steaks, and all kinds of things. Like Playmaker's Sports Grill was fantastic. We were able to try some things there when we were on Icon. It's all an upcharge though, so just understand going in that if you want to partake in some of these food and beverage locations that look amazing on this ship and just not go to like the buffet and the main dining room every night, that's the same thing, you are gonna have to pay more for those. Don't get us wrong. Finally, we're gonna talk about the activities. There are plenty of activities on a Royal Caribbean ship that are included. So the rock climbing, the flow rider, where it's like that
Yeah.
I've never done it, but like you surf in place on like one wave that it's just like continually pushing again. That's all included. However, there are activities that are not included. So for instance, we did Crown's Edge on the Icon earlier this year, which is that thing, I'll try to overlay a video it here, but like you're wearing a harness and you're walking like over the edge of the ship on this like beam thing. It was kind of fun, but they were still working on pricing. So I don't know what they settled on. Whatever it was like, we heard 3 different prices. They were all more than I would pay for that experience. Just understand that there are activities that look really cool that you're gonna pay extra for.
All in all, we love both cruise lines, but we are very partial to Disney Cruise Line, obviously, and we definitely think that it's worth it. But you know, let us know what you think. All right, if you are liking these videos, please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.
And we will see you on the next video.